Hello, welcome to Argentina for the first round of a new Evolution series, the 1956 Evolution, and we see an unexpected result in qualifying with two British cars in the top two places. Jackfairman in his Connaught and Piero Scotti also in the Connaught 1 and 2. We've got Jean Bera third in the Maserati, Mike Hawthorn fourth in his private Maserati, Phil Collins, what is this, the 80s? Peter Collins in the Ferrari, fifth. Juanmanuelfangio sixth, so not the debut Fangio was hoping for Ferrari at home. He'll hope to be able to come through the field and compete for the victory despite his sixth place. Stirlingmoss, his main rival from last year, in eighth. So, yeah, and then Luigi Villaresi still managing to qualify his cars in the top 10 in ninth place in that Maserati. Castellotti 10th. So Ferrari's littered through the grid, but not really where they want to be at all. Really struggling, even though we believe the Ferrari is the quickest car. It's not showing it here at all. Robertmanzon 11th in the Gordini. We've got another Ferrari in 14th. Taruffi doing okay in the Maserati. He's 13th. Godia 15th. So lots of Maseratis and Ferraris on this grid, and they make up the majority of it. But the Connaughts overcame all of them to get in the top two. So fantastic for them. What are their prospects in the race? One can only speculate until we get there. Gonzalez, the home hero, or one of the home heroes, along with Fangio, in 19th. So maybe not the biggest of hopes for him, but he'll hope to do something, I'm sure. You got Musso, you got Tony Brooks in what I believe is a BRM, is it? Owen Racing Organisation. I think that's a BRM. I did know, but it's been a little while since I looked up all the teams. So yeah. I believe that's the BRM for Tony Brooks there. So interesting to see. So British Constructor in 1-2 on the grid. If they hold on to that in the race, I believe they'll be doing well. Let's see how it goes. We're going to be sitting there watching Jackfairman off the grid, Scotti alongside, and then Jean Bera, perhaps a little bit more used to running up the front than Fairman and Scotti. Here we go. The cars are away, and Jackfairman leads nicely with Bera. Let's have a look, but Scotti has gone across into Bera's path. That might protect Fairman there. And there's a few going wide. Everyone's going wide. And that's one of the Ferraris. I think that's Fangio. Home race, off and lost the wheel already. So, wow, not the start of the season that the 1955 and 54 and 51 champion, the triple world champion, was hoping for. He's out of the race already. Villaresi has hit somebody and run wide. Bera's gone off. He's down in 7th. Godia's up there. I think that was Manzon. Castellotti hasn't actually made any progress in spite of everyone, or a lot of people in front of him going off. So he must have had enough of himself and just recovered pretty quickly. Everybody goes off, and I've got to be honest, I've done some offline stuff on these mods, and yeah, the 50s cars do have a tendency to go off, make a lot of mistakes and stuff. Stirlingmoss in third, Fairman is leading, Mike Hawthorn in second, Stirlingmoss in third. It's a Brit 1-2-3. Wow, what a result that would be if it stays. But I think there's been another incident, someone spun off, and it's now Manzon is up in a third, Perdisa and Bera fourth and fifth, and Castellotti's now come through in the fifth, and there's another spinner, and it just spins all over the place at the moment. But Hawthorn's on a second, but Fairman in first place has had a trouble-free run from pole position, and he appears to be getting away. And then you've got Mike Hawthorn behind him. Yeah, the car's a little bit unstable, but Fairman is holding it well. So, yeah, well, so far so good for Jackfairman and Connaught. If they could get this victory, what a result that would be. Mike Hawthorn in second. You'd see he's at least 5 seconds, maybe a bit more behind Fairman already. So Castellotti up to fourth in the Ferrari. Bera's there in fifth in the Maserati, but he's struggling to hold that in the line, and he's gone off again. So he was hoping that he might be able to get into the lead at the start of this race. It's not happened for Jean Bera. Manzon, I think, is struggling to hold his grip there as well. So here we go. We see Mike Hawthorn coming round, and he would love to, if he finishes second, I think he'll be quite happy with the start of the season. But it'd be even better if he could catch Fairman, but I don't know if anyone's going to catch Fairman because everybody is having trouble holding the car on the road except for Jackfairman, who's already got a 9.3 advantage over Mike Hawthorn. There we can see Fangio's abandoned car and others, and it's almost like a car graveyard here in Buenos Aires, isn't it? Mike Hawthorn in second, Robert Manzon in third, and I think he's being chased down by, is that still Castellotti in fourth? Yes, it is. So he's being chased down by the best Ferrari still in the race. A lot of the Ferraris have already taken care of themselves, I think, and Moss is in fifth, so he'll be hoping to try to come back at the front running positions as well, although it's very spread out. There's a lot of ground for the likes of Castellotti and Moss to make up, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Of course, we're a 5% race, which I think here in Buenos Aires, in the old Buenos Aires anyway, it relates to 4 laps, so a 4-lap race, and we're already nearly halfway around the second one, and Fairman is still looking very, very strong here, and yeah, realistically, he's looking very good. He's looking very, very good indeed, and yeah, I'm struggling for things to say at the minute. I mean, my knowledge on the 50s, I know all the drivers' names and stuff, but obviously I didn't grow up watching them and I haven't seen them since. It's just old bits of history, but it's fascinating to watch on this modern scene and going around. There's Castellotti. He is doing his best in 4th. Then you've got Moss, there's Perdisa. The race appears to have settled down a bit. De Silva Ramos up in the 7th. He qualified at the back of the grid, I think, 32nd. But he's doing right. No, Castellotti is off. So that's Castellotti off. And is he going to be able to continue? I think he might be out of the race. So, well, that's Ferrari's last best hope left in the race. Out of it. Yeah, the other thing is we are running Constructors' Championship. I know Constructors' Championship didn't come into force until 1958, but in this Evo Series, I'm going to run the Constructors' Championship, so we will add that up. So it's not looking great for Ferrari on that respect, man. Jack Fairman is at half distance, and he just seems to be going better and better for him because nobody is looking really like they're going to catch him. We'll see how far Hawthorn is behind. He's lost 2.1 seconds on that lap. He's now 11.4 behind. So that private Maserati, Hawthorn's giving it all he can, but I don't think he has got enough pace in it. Manzon is the furthest, 6.4 seconds behind him, and then Moss. He is the one who might catch up to Manzon. He's, Moss is, he was as close as Fangio got to a championship challenger last year, and, he is a pretty complete driver, so we will see how Moss can do. Hopefully he will get back in touch with the front runners, because it'll be nice to see one of the big names do something in this race. But I think as Jack Fairman is so far eclipsing them all, and he continues to. You see Jean Bera, despite his front start, he's down in 9th. He's 48 seconds off of that lead at the minute. Scotty, who started in the front row alongside his teammate, has not been able to drive a race like his teammate. Unfortunately, he's nearly a minute behind in 12th place. So the runners that we are running out of runners. We had 32 start, and I'm pretty sure we've got less than half of that left now, and the attrition rate in the 1950s is absolutely insane. Moss is still in 4th, Perdisa up in 5th, so he'll be happy with his day's work so far. Mikehawthorn still holding on a second, and you've got Fairman leading around, and I think he's coming up to complete lap 3 and he'll only have a quarter distance to go, and he's looking just as solid. All he's got to do is hope the car holds together and avoid any mistakes now, Jack Fairman, and he would then get the victory that will put his name in lights on the board and also put him in the championship lead at the start of the season. So yeah, that would all be fantastic, but we remain to be seen. And is that Moss? Yes, it is. Well, it's in Moss's most complete driver, perhaps not today. There is a mistake from Sterling Moss. Has he got enough ground over Perdisa to hold on to 4th? No, he hasn't. There's Perdisa. Perdisa has gone through, so Perdisa in 4th place. Moss down into 5th, still in the points, but now under pressure from De Silva Ramos behind. And, well, De Silva Ramos might be a lot slower than Moss. Moss qualified. Where did Moss qualify again? He qualified in 8th, whereas De Silva Ramos qualified in 32nd. But what is key is De Silva Ramos is not spinning off, and Fairman is starting to lap the back markers already. Not sure if that's his teammate Scotty or is that somebody else completely. But Fairman lapping the back markers, and it's thrown him into a spin. Whoever it is, Fairman, we said he's made no mistake so far, but he has now made a mistake. But he does have, I think, it's got to be close to a 20-second cushion over Mike Hawthorn, and I think he's going to be all right. He recovers, and there's plenty of ground still to those behind him. So Fairman, well, tripped over by a back marker. Not sure who it was, but yeah, well, Fairman's got to carry on now. Moss is still in 5th. He'll try to catch up to Perdisa again. De Silva Ramos dropped away from him. Jack Fairman still leading this Argentine Grand Prix. He will hope to be able to press the advantage home and win it now. He is so close to it. He's nearly halfway around his final lap, and it's been a great performance from Jack Fairman. Really, really strong, totally on top. Yes, he did make that mistake with the back marker there, but that's the only mistake he's made a race, and when you contrast that with a lot of the other runners, I mean, they've either been most error-ridden or too slow. Look at Hawthorn. Well, Manzon's actually catching Hawthorn, so Manzon's looking pretty decent to try to threaten Mike Hawthorn's second place in the closing stages. So maybe we are going to see a battle, because I was saying I was struggling for things to say earlier because I didn't have the knowledge of the 1950s drivers in the depth, so that when things are happening it's fine, but when it's all spread out like it has been, it starts to become a little bit tricky to talk about it, especially when you're in the first race of the series. You don't have the history of the series to talk about and reflect on either. So, but we now might have something to talk about, because Robertmanzon is definitely catching Mike Hawthorn. Jackfairman there comes across the line though to win the race and complete what has been a fantastic weekend. Pole position and the win, and then we've got Hawthorn trying to hold off Manzon. Will it happen? Well, we're watching Fairman's victory lap, of course, so we won't really no. But Robertmanzon does actually get Mike Hawthorn. We didn't see it, but Manzon has passed Mike Hawthorn, so he is into second place. Hawthorn drops to third. He'll be very disappointed. He's been holding that second place right since the start of the Grand Prix, so he'll be disappointed with that. But still on the podium. I mean, still points. It's early days in this World Championship, and yeah, if the Ferraris and Maseratis are going to get their acts together, these points could be very important indeed. So there we go then. So Jackfairman wins the race, pole position and a win. Incredible. And the first victory, I believe, for a British constructor as well, and Connaught. And yeah, so perfect day for Jackfairman and Connaught. Robertmanzon second place in the Gordini, passing Mike Hawthorn very much in the very last moments of the Grand Prix. Mike Hawthorn finishing third. Cesareperdisa finishes fourth for Maserati. Hermano da Silva Ramos fifth in the Gordini, and of course we are in the 1950s, so only the top five score points, and it is very much 8, 6, 4, 3, 2. That's how we're doing it. There's no point for fastest lap. I'm trying to simplify how I'll work it out, so it's just the points for the top five. Much the same as when I do some of the 80s Evos. I won't be doing best scores. It'll just be all scores count. So just to make you guys aware of that, I will be simplifying some things. I don't do the fastest lap points in the modern era either, just the race points. So Fairman, Manzon, Hawthorn, Perdisa and Da Silva Ramos, the top five. That makes the championship the same. So Fairman on 8, Robertmanzon on 6, Mike Hawthorn on 4, Cesareperdisa on 3, and Hermano da Silva Ramos on 2. And now to take you to the Constructors' Championship, which we said, even though it didn't exist in real life till 1958, we are going to do. And in the Constructors, Connaught lead it because they got the race win. So Connaught are on 8, but Gordini are also on 8, and Maserati are on 7. The big shock, Ferrari, totally pointless. And as you can see on the results list there, nothing. No Ferraris are anywhere near up there. Yeah, Stirlingmoss finished down in 8th in the end, so he has plenty of errors in his Maserati. Jean Bear are the same. I don't even know if a Ferrari finished the race anywhere. No, I think they were very much all out. I think maybe Castellotti was the last Ferrari to run before retiring. He was indeed. So there we go. So that is your result for the 1956 Argentine Grand Prix. Please like and subscribe and keep in touch. And thank you for watching. Take care.